I mean,
Kodo was
but
the
you know
only
what
one
else?
who Kodo was the only one who even came close to having a use for it.
When I say, I mean, shit, I like the idea of global invulnerability.
Hmm. You should. It thwarted you for 3/4 of the combat.
I was just trying to avoid casting spells. Trying to figure out a way around it without casting spells.
There isn't
That's the
one.
fucking huh?
There isn't one. That's the whole point of global invulnerability.
Yeah, no, that's what I was like. I really don't want to.
If nobody wants to use it, we'll just sell it off, I guess.
I mean, I'll take it. Very rare. Requires attunement by a sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. No, I can't use
Yeah,
it.
so yeah, so it has to be one of the arcane casters. Let's see if you can do this without knocking out my Ethernet cable this time.
Wait, what?
When you moved your table, you pulled out the Ethernet cable.
Oh.
Took me a full minute to realize we've been disconnected. So this will now be another 2-part stream because David broke the stream.
What do you say, Corey, with the trend? Okay, so you guys decided to go into that room?
Well, it's the only room on this floor left. I mean,
Okay.
looking out the window, it looked like some kind of training area over there. So
There are cracked wooden pillars that support a wooden U-shaped balcony that overhangs the stone-walled chapel.
I was right.
Their archway leads to a spiral staircase that curls up to the balcony, and a door set into the north wall has a wooden beam barring it. At the east end of the chapel rests a stone altar flanked by iron candelabras. The altar is carved. Is carved with a rising sun base relief. All liturgy windows set with panes of stained glass and decorate the walls behind the altar. One of the windows has been shattered, covering the chapel floor with shards of colored glass, allowing a notably thick fog to enter the room.
If anybody see the little Napoleonic-looking motherfucker, shoot him.
Through the fog, you see 3 silhouettes. It looks like armored figures kneeling before the altar. You also see thanks to your lanterns are revealing, ghostly images of people being led through these north and south doors. These people appear to be largely very, very pale elves, very similar to the one you saw in the main area, and similar in Pelor to the Vistoni that is traveling with you now.
Huh.
Un momento. That's right. You have the lens revealing, so you can you can hear the knights that aren't kneeling in front of the altar. The ones that are ushering the people are saying things like don't worry. There are people above that will direct you and protect you. Just make sure you're directed towards the circle, and you'll be safe. There's also other words of a more commanding, consoling nature. Though the three that are kneeling by in front of the altar say nothing, because maybe they're in some form of prayer.
Okay. So you can take a look around. Keep an ear out to see if they're saying anything interesting beyond the obvious what they just said, but I see doors. We can check those, make sure they're safe. Safety door.
How about you, Tibbs?
Okay. We'll see. Trying to this fucking map will not let me use the slide over feature. Okay, there's these three guys. Nice little descriptors underneath them. I appreciate that. Alright. That 16 that I had was to look for any sort of traps. Look for any sort of traps to this door up here.
Okay. The only trap you see is a ill-designed one that won't function. It looks like it's meant to just remove the knob when you try to open the door. So it's not so much a harmful trap as an annoying trap, but it's not done very well and will not function.
Let's see. Okay, then that's pretty much what I'm going to attempt to do. Is to attempt to get a look at most of this stuff. In which case, I have some faith in my abilities to deal with that, to open the door.
Okay. Kenshi, where are you investigating?
At the moment, he's walking the room, working his way through the debris in the perimeter, making his way towards the. Are these ghost statues or actual people?
They have the translucent nature of
okay, he's working his way around towards the ghosts then.
Okay. You find. Whoa. Huh. You find in the rubble a miraculously durable chain shirt that has a number of arrows stuck in its links. But it didn't look like it penetrated. Look, it just caught in the in the chain. It is not suffering as much degradation as you would think a chain shirt subjected to weather over many, many years would have. It looks too fresh. You would have found that here.
Take the.
Okay.
I guess pick that up.
For listing purposes, it's +3 chain shirt.
Oh shit! Too bad chain shirt is medium armor. That's actually really nice.
Here, you're gonna continue forward along like you said you were?
Yep.
Okay. Once you get to about here, you will note a slight soft glow from your angel item.
Oh. Hello. Look around.
You will see suddenly, because you did not hear the movement that would, of such heavy armor that would accompany this. Suddenly, the kneeling 3 knight paladins have turned their head to look at you. They're still kneeling, but instead of being bowed down in prayer, they're suddenly up and turned to the side, looking straight at you.
Hi? What's up?
There is a
We come in peace?
seeming like this stare going on. Their forms slightly wavering and translucent, because again the lantern revealing is revealing their presence. Though you do get the. I had the sheet here for a reason. Okay. You are sensing that there is something wrong, something unsettling here, and then you pick it up since they're staring at you, and I presume you're kind of staring back at them. You don't see their eyes beyond, reflecting beyond the helmet. The eye slits. You see instead a kind of shadow belying the form underneath. It's forgive what to me sounds kind of like a mechanical term, but really I guess it's an univert term. There's a sense of Revenant-esque vibes to it. Are you continuing to stand where you were, or are you doing something?
He's still hesitantly making his way over towards the window, in the altar, but he's keeping an eye on them. Trying not to make any hostile moves, though.
Yeah, okay. When you move a square forward, which would be there, they will stand up and turn to face you. You hearing what sounds like distant moving of their armor that would correspond with their movement.
Easy, guys. Just looking at looking at the glowing ring, looking at them. Okay.
It's it's glowing a bit brighter, and you're getting much more of a sense of a malign of a like a like malignant malevolence that's about them, and it I guess before I go more, can you give me an Arcana roll?
I can try.
You can roll at advantage.
Okay, so that's 12.
Okay. You feel this malignant malevolence around them is. This may sound obvious, but tied to the greater the greater happenings that has befallen this place, and you also sense that your angel item is aiding you in sensing this warpedness about them.
Okay.
Everything okay, Kenshi?
Oh, just picking up corruption of these ghosts over here. They're gonna are not reacting well to my angel item, or the fact that I keep getting closer to them because I'm trying to search the room. So I'm not sure if we're about to throw down or what, but they're Revenant-esque, which is never a good thing.
Tiz will think for a moment. He will begin to make his way over. And we'll stand right here.
The dragon armored knights are still looking at Kenshi.
You said they bear crest of dragon on their shields.
Yeah, I'm blowing up the image for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same kind of crest that the carpet had.
Yeah.
Their colors have been worn a bit to time.
Okay. I will look towards them. I will look towards them. Troubled souls. I'll say, I will hold up my crest towards them. I'll say, hold up the crest towards them. Do you still serve?
They are continuing to have a locked attention on Kenshi.
I will step forward again.
Okay. Do you repeat yourself, or do you just step forward?
I step forward, repeat myself, holding the emblem of Muhammad up to them. It's like I'll say I was like, I will ask again. Do you still serve? Have you? I'll say, or have you fallen so far?
Are you channeling any faith into this, or are you merely announcing loudly?
I am now. Let's see. I don't know how exactly I channel faith into it, but is there a role to channel faith? That's the thing.
You can just uh, you can just
I would like to.
what's your
Um,
you can what level worth of soul points are you wanting to pump into this? I'm not going to want you to use a channel divinity just for this. That's you only have
yeah,
so many of those. That's a waste. So
technically I have three of them. I'm not worried about that.
Just gonna prep a
Um,
mirror image just in case.
okay.
Just
I would
got that
like
ready to go.
I would like to use a channel. I'll use a channel divinity in
Oh,
order
okay.
to I'll use a channel divinity in order to like radiate my faith to radiate the the level of my faith.
Okay.
I'd like to radiate the level 20 of my faith.
The one in the center will turn their head to look at you, Tibbs.
Hmm.
The Skillholt and the Order have failed us. Honor has failed us. What power would your Bahamut have here?
Obviously, the only thing that I'll say, obviously, the only thing that has failed is your faith. If you believe that something as minuscule as the mist could keep his power away.
We had fought to save the palace and whoever else we could to the forces that swept through collecting items and power for their own machination. If faith was if faith and good action was shield enough, then Argynvoshholt would not be as it stands now.
It is not. I say it is not all. It is not all that matters. Sometimes there are those who fall, so that those who come after can see their diligent acts. You have, you fought bravely, and not everyone who fights in the name of our Lord and Savior shall remain standing. At the end of the day, we are merely flesh and bone. We ourselves are not gods. We have limits, and we can only do so much. And our free will leads us to make certain decisions that may or may not be right. But we will live our lives in a way that will promote others in order to take up our cause. Am I not here? Your mission may not have gone the way that you would have wished, but your mission may not have gone the way that you would have wished, but in the end, in the end, the will has been done. The good Lord has seen to it that that me and my compatriots come here in order to drive back the darkness and the entities that reside within it. And we are gathering the power to do so.
We, as are you, are rooted in memory which defines us, and of course that which came before. You you see, you say that your past through Bahamut has led you here. Your presence here cannot be denied, but as was shown to us, words of faith only carry so much power. Actions of faith showing the will behind it and the intended deeds say so much more than mere words can. And the ashen memory which prevails us leads us to not take much faith in your words. The one nearest you, Kenshi, will point a gauntleted finger at you, though you notice fairly immediately that while the finger is pointing at you, it's not pointing like straight at your chest. It's actually pointing at your hand, specifically your angel item. and this one, the one nearest you, will speak, and as he's speaking, his hand is going to the hilt of his sword. Things such as that are no longer welcomed here.
Well, if it's not welcome and you happen to have another one, we'll happily take it off your hands.
The the northernmost one, will speak. In the process, they are drawing their weapon, which releases some like blue sparks as it does. We believe only Godfrey may have that, and we have not been able to find him. Needless to say, leaving a ring such as that dormant. And he trails off a bit.
Who the hell said it was dormant?
The implication is that they would make it dormant or remove it.
They'd seal it. Okay.
But his trail off seemed a little short. The one in the center will look look back at the one to to the north for a few moments, as if making an assessment, and then turns attention back toward back towards Tibbs. Perhaps I was mistaken. Acolyte of Bahamut. And to you, the bearer of light. You good, Brian?
Yeah, I'm good. I was walking upstairs.
Gotcha. And the bearer of light. Your presence here may be more consequential than I had anticipated. But many have tried to continue our quest before. He points towards the spectral images of of who clearly are the Pallid Elves and a few others being saved by the other Paladins, going up through the door and presumably up to wherever those lead. And they have failed, except that this place is now what it is, and leave with whatever it is you have found.
No can do. I was given an assignment by by a great dragon, and was told that there were some members of the faithful who have lost their way. I'm starting to believe they were you.
The one to the north that kind of trailed off before. We'll look at you, Tibbs.
If you are the ones who have lost faith, then restoring that and bringing you back to where you should be is the prize that I seek.
You speak of Argynvost?
I believe he does.
I did not fully make out his form, but he appeared before us with flames and wind. Instructing that the faithful here had lost their way.
It could not have been Argynvost that you had seen, for Argynvost has not shown himself to us, and if one such as he could in fact be felled and lack the faith to continue on the mission of valor and virtue that he had preached, there is no hope for us, or this place that we cannot leave, and scars the souls that lie beyond this hardened shell. The one to the in the south nearest Kenshi will unsheath his blade, similarly having blue sparks like the other one that unsheathed his blade. It is clear that they don't have the excuse me. That they don't have the wherewithal to uplift our dishonor, revive Arganvas from wherever he may be, or find Godfrey to leave us. We must make them leave.
Whoa! Who said we couldn't do those things? It sounds like finding Godfrey is exactly what we came here to do, effectively. And as for Arganvas, we didn't even know that was an option, so care to bring us up to speed on that? No reason we can't do both.
The one in the middle will speak up.
There's very little that we cannot accomplish.
I mean, honestly, at this point, what do you have to lose?
We know not the we know not the fate of Arganvas. Just that he has not returned.
Do you know where he went? We'd start looking there. Where he was last supposed to be.
An area of Arganvashalt that has since been lost and destroyed.
Have you looked around this place recently? That doesn't narrow it down very much.
The one on the north will speak up. Regardless of your competency, if you fall here, you will just be trapped and changed by the scarred lands, just as we have. Don't risk it.
Faith is not based in fear.
The one to the south will speak. Then perhaps you have not been challenged enough.
We've been challenged. We've been challenged quite often. Quite frequently, and by a great many things. It is not the challenge that we worry about. I do not know about my comrades, but I know that I press on because I have to, and I know that despite whatever might happen, my life means very little, and my life means very little when it is when I know that my actions are guided by my Lord.
Trish, it kind of looks like you're thinking. Is there any skill or anything you're wanting to employ?
Not that I can think of off the cuff.
Okay.
Quite frankly, this feels more like a Tibbs encounter anyway, but, I'm trying to figure out if I can contribute anything. So far, not so much.
But I don't know about Kenshi in particular, but I know sometimes you're you want to insight something or
yeah. I know. I'm just like I said, right now, nothing's coming to mind.
Okay. Jim, how about yourself?
I've always been of the belief that fear is the weapon of the heretics against the faithful.
One second, I keep typing. Oh, just you prepping.
No, I'm actually trying. You gave the insight suggestion, and I think that may be a decent idea. I'm not 100% sold on it, but given that we're kind of feeling like we're fumbling in the dark right now, talking in circles a little bit.
Well, I was trying to see if this encounter could result in anything besides a fight.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. It's like we seem to be circling around the idea of being able to talk our way out of it, but we seem to be missing some key detail.
Okay, with that insight, it seems to you like these quasi revenant paladins. Excuse me. Are being heavily influenced as if their excuse me, as if their own failings are being amplified and compounded onto them. Hence the very much more aggressive way that they're handling you all, and that appears to be heavily influencing them to strike out at anyone that would come to this place. You do have the sense that this effect is coming from some kind of outside source. Now you know this area has some sort of scarred magic curse thing going on about it, which could very well be tying to that. You can also tell that there is I want to phrase it. A suggestion or compulsion going on with how they're fixated on your angel item to basically possibly seek and destroy, of course within this area because they can't seemingly leave the area, items or things or people that are sufficiently of the light, which is obviously something they normally wouldn't do, even with the idea of fallen dishonor, shame going on, which is why you're getting more of a sense that it's that it's more of a for like our term, maybe curse compulsion.
Yeah.
Now, given that these people are, quasi-revenant, you figure if you kill them, they probably are only going to be as dead as a ghost can be but
And you said it's close to a curse.
I say closer to a curse under the idea that if it's tied to the general scarring that's gone on in this area on a metaphysical level.
Okay. So if it's closer to a curse than, say, a possession or something, I need to reroll this.
Did you say that, or you just?
I'm thinking of something that might help here. Okay. So what Kenshi is going to do then, in an effort to try and get us to stop talking in circles, based on the roll, since you said it's closer to a curse, we are going to use his semblance to subtle cast a bouncing remove curse.
Okay.
So I believe that's a touch, unless you guys don't know.
Under normal conditions, it would be, but with bouncing spell, as long as it doesn't have a range of self, I can target a creature within 30 feet. and then have it bounce to another creature within 30 feet, and then spend more sorcery points to bounce it again.
Okay.
So, cost me some of my energy, but it was either that or mass protection from good and evil and good, but it sounds like the remove curse might be closer to what we need
Yeah,
to.
mass protection from good and evil only keeps us from getting fucked over by them.
Well, if I throw it at them, if they were already possessed, it would remove the possession, or rather give them advantage on the possession save. But if it's closer to a curse, then I actually need to cleanse it.
Yeah.
Okay. They will take a few steps back, sheathing their swords for those who did draw their swords. You will see from out of the islets in their dragon head armor and the various small gaps that exist in armor. Remember how I mentioned there was kind of a blackness, a smoky blackness behind the islets? There is like this dark smoke that is leaking from the tiny gaps in their armor, like where the straps are and between plates, and more prominently from the islets. The one next to Tibbs and the one nearest you, Kenshi, seem to be almost in a stunned state, as if someone had punched them in their sternum. So they're kind of staggered. The one to the north, however, is able to speak. Thank you, but I'm afraid what you've done may not last for very long. There is a hold on this place, and we believe that Sir Godfrey may have some keys as to what was going on. He was the commander at the last great battle. He should still be protecting the evacuation circle. As he is speaking, there will be a trembling at his knees. Says, have you guys seen someone who is in shock, so they're kind of shaky? It looks like that. This place, I think the enemy general, or maybe one of his subordinates, must have must have done something. But if you can find Godfrey, perhaps find find some way to cleanse it. There is something else, something like what you have on your hand, and he'll the other two will all out, like, collapse. Their armor and arms beginning to become ethereal, as some of the it looks like some of the mass in the armor is going away, and the smoke coming from them is appears to be thinning out. The one that's doing the act of talking does fall to his his knees. I believe Argenvas was protecting, like, point towards your hand before he collapses over and his armor becomes a bit more ethereal before one by one their armor like evaporates into the air, with the exception of their sword and the crest on their shields.
I'm going to choose to think I did a good there, and so if we can find that teleportation circle, what's his name was talking about? Shard, or Savid was talking about.
Yes, that was quite an interesting exchange. There was one dressed such as them, seemingly guarding it.
That sounds like where we need to go.
Defended the area for me, which is why I could not see there for very long.
Oh, that sounds like where we need to go then. In 2 weeks.
Oh shit! It's what? Oh damn!
And you said there's like nothing remaining of them?
Their swords and the crest of their shields, on their shields.
Okay.
You can sense a excuse me. For lack of a better term, you can sense a faith and belief radiating off of them. Not obviously not one that comes from any deity, as no deities can reach in here, but one that that must come from within oneself.
So what was left of their belief they were literally holding on to? Tibbs will kneel and give a prayer for them.
Okay.
I will. I'll say there's an altar right here, correct?
Yeah, yes. This is the chapel.
Right. I will prop their 3 swords and shields up against the altar in a constructed like memorial to them, like swords and shields.
Okay.
Oh my god, I finally have a card after God knows how long. And thankfully it's not a card I have to play immediately, so I actually get to, possibly hang on to it for a minute.
I mean, what are you about to say? Like the ones that you play immediately, or there's only like two of them, aren't there?
I don't know. I haven't actually. I intentionally did not read the entire deck, and I'm sure there's plenty of cards we haven't seen yet.
It feels like it feels like you get the same cards all the time.
It really does. I don't know how big the deck actually is.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, I feel like the deck is probably maybe about 20 cards.
It might be closer to 30, but yeah, it's not a huge deck. I know that. 28 according to the deck thing.
Okay, that explains why there would be so many repeats with what draws that we have gotten.
Yeah.
There have been times where I actually had two of the same card.
Yeah, I know that. I know that's possible.
Okay. Do you guys want to do any last thing before we end the session?
While he's doing his ritual thing, doing his little funeral ceremony, I'm just checking doors here to. Okay, so we got 2 stairwells going up. You said there's a balcony, and where is that? The one that goes to the balcony? What's that?
That goes down into the yard.
Ah, okay. So you have two stairs up and a door and a staircase going outside. Okay.
The stairs up are where the evacuees were being.
Yeah. Okay. I figured that much because the only other staircase we saw going up was the one over here. So yeah. Okay. No, I am kind of curious how we get to. I guess you'd have to go through there
for
getting into the tower. Is that a door there? It looks like it might be a door there.
There is most definitely...
Or at least a hole. It doesn't look like there's a door on it.
There's most definitely a door over here.
Okay.
Which would then lead into this area, which would grant you access. There's also...
Okay, maybe that's a fireplace then.
There's also this over here. Oop, I can't... this over here that... Since you guys didn't do any investigation,
from the outside.
You couldn't really see it.
Okay, alright, so I'm going to want to backtrack and check that out then, because I want to make sure we've swept the first floor before going up to the second.
Okay. I was
finding all this really neat stuff that nobody really uses. Like that +3 chain shirt is awesome, but unfortunately chain shirts are medium armor in 5th. I'd actually consider wearing that. And unfortunately it's not mithril where it counts as light, it's...
Right. I thought the flying carpet was...
Oh yeah, the flying carpet's awesome. The Staff of Power is really good, especially for, characters like Kodo.
Yeah.
Who won't, of course, says he won't use it, but it's still a really awesome item for him.
Yeah. He may eventually change his mind, but as an insurrection style.
Brian was like, I want to use it, but it's like, doesn't work for clerics. It's like, but Globe of Invulnerability, though.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's like amazing loot that nobody can use.
Because I wasn't sure if you guys felt you needed to do the classic dungeon thing of sweeping every floor given your objectives or not. You can, I'm not going to stop you.
In this case, I feel we have to, because we are technically looking for a guy.
That is true.
We're looking for a guy. We're looking for a guy, and I was given a task by the dragon to look for followers who have lost their way.
So, in character, we have to sweep every room until we find the guy. Out of character, the loot though.
Okay.
Because now that it's been proven there's really good loot in here. And all the only loot I've gotten is chairs. Because everything else nobody can use.
Okay. Well, as long as you guys are having fun, that's what's mattering.
It's not a tedious dungeon crawl so far. There was a couple moments there where it's like, okay, we're getting into this routine where it's like, check door, open door, roll perception, check door, open door, roll. This is getting a little tedious, but we broke it up with the spiders, we broke it up with this chapel thing, so that was more on the order of things we chose to do, and not because of.
Yeah.
And now, considering in theory we only have the one area, which should be pretty quick, and then in theory we head upstairs where I don't know if it's the boss or the sub-boss, but the dude who kicks us off into the actual next part of the plot is in theory upstairs.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know if he's the final boss of the adventure or the sub-boss of the adventure, but either way, important guy upstairs. And now we know that, so we have so if we need to take a minute to prep before going up there, we can do that.
You're talking about Godfrey. I know I mentioned him a couple of times.
Yeah, you mentioned Godfried, and you've also mentioned Argynvost, which is it's like, I don't know if we're gonna have to deal with Argynvost. It was said he went somewhere and got lost, so we might have to go find him or fight him. But either way, we have to go upstairs and deal with Godfrey in some capacity.
Okay.
Because again, like Tristan knows the Curse of Strahd version of this adventure loosely. I don't know the changes you have made, so it's like, okay, I don't know what we're gonna have to do with what, but
Yeah. So it's one could phrase it as it's based off or inspired by.
yeah, inspired by I think is closer to.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, man. Tibbs the holy man over here.
Mm-hmm. But you're not trying to step back. It's like this really feels like a paladin on the priest help find your way moment. So it's like I don't want to step on this because this is one of the few times Tibbs has actually gotten to cleric.
Yeah, it's like it was again one of those situations where there was a couple ways to solve it. One of which was fighting.
Yeah. Now I didn't think throwing the remove curse would just clear the room. I feel kind of bad about that because he was going through his whole sermon and I just kind of went, fuck it. But
to be fair, I was actually going to use remove curse anyway, so you just did it faster than me.
And more effectively because I could throw it at multiple targets.
Yeah.
I was going to ask them if I was pretty much going to ask them. It was like, would you? And I'll say you appear to be afflicted. Would you? I'll say, do you wish for this to be removed from you?
Okay, because I've tried to be very clear that that this place is in particular is messed up.
Yeah.
I will, however, to give them, to make sure that their faith, that the faith that they held on to remains where it is until we can come back and give them a proper send off. And I do not want anyone coming back and fucking with them because they actually passed on their own terms. I would like to create a magic circle around their weapons.
Ooh, okay.
I will make this magic circle. People will give me 60 seconds.
Oh yeah, you got time. You got plenty of time.
I'll say, I would like to do the creature can't willingly enter the cylinder by non-magical means.
Okay.
I'll say, that way if they're like, oh, hey, let's get their weapons, then, they have to, I'll say, kind of get repelled. I don't want them, I'll say, what I want to do, I don't have an hour to do. So I was like, this will hold off most lower level creatures from doing anything with their stuff until we get back. So
Nice.
I say we shouldn't be gone for longer than an hour anyway. That'll give me enough time to come back and give them and whoever else is in here a proper burial.
Yeah, if we're just running upstairs and back, that probably should take us an hour or less, unless, there's a lot more complicated stuff upstairs.
Yep. Oh, that balcony you were talking about?
Yeah.
The first part about here has the floor above it, while this part out here has, if you could fly, direct access to the second floor.
Okay, so Cortana and I could probably bounce on up there, but everybody else would have to...
We'd have to take the stairs.
Or the carpet.
Or the carpet.
Well, there's no reason not to take the stairs. I mean, they're there. Okay, we seem to be making reasonable progress. It's not our fastest dungeon crawl, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've been stalling.
Yeah, because I've tried to make sure that there's been some amount of progress at different points, even during this session, to ensure that even if you guys make some decisions that make things last a bit longer, then something of note had been done.
Yeah, the closest to stalled I felt this session was, again, talking to these guys. That's only because it became very quick that, evident we were talking in a very small circle. It's like the circle was, was moving because, they were making different points and it was a dialogue, but it still felt like we weren't going to be, we weren't getting very far with the current line of discussion where, once you suggested inadvertently suggested the insight, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Throwing insights, like, oh, okay, this is why we're talking in a circle. If I remove this, maybe we can make actual dialogue progress.
Yeah. At which point, it enabled that one dude who didn't seem to be as influenced to be able to spout off a bunch of needed information.
Yeah, I did not expect him to go full verbal diarrhea and then just explode, but...
Well, it's one of those things where I felt like, it's really silly when you have the guy go, I know I'm bleeding out, and you're talking to me on the phone, but this is really important what I'm about to say. You have to listen to me. It has to... to avoid that.
Well, I understand that. I was just like, oh, you just fired everything at us shotgun style. Okay, well, I'm not complaining. I thought you still might need some convincing, but this would make it easier. I didn't think, just, oh, cool, thanks.
Well, part of that is because, well, quite frankly, Tibbs and his faith talk.
Well, like I said,
it's like, oh shit. So these guys, between Tibbs and his faith talk and the fact that you have an angel item, I thought I know that's exactly what it is. Just, oh wow, there's actually some people that are bringing enough figurative light in that might be able to actually do shit.
Yep.
I need to give them information before I go away.
Seriously, that is totally an arch or something. That is...
It totally is. However, there's... Okay. As you can see, I don't have a door icon on there.
Well, I just assumed it was like one of the door coming out of the dining room or whatever this is, where the door was gone, so it was just straight through.
And by watching it, it's like, is that a way through?
And because you can see like the tile clearly continues through. Well, yeah, that's totally an opening. But it's cool. It shouldn't take us that long to sweep through there and head on upstairs.
Brian, do you have any thoughts or opinions?
No, I'm gonna say this was. I'm like, well, I'm like I said, I am enjoying being able to, actually, speak to other people about my faith and them not being like this fucking noob. Who the fuck is this goober with a belief system? Most of the people we run into are like super jaded. So, I mean, these guys are kind of jaded, but I mean they're cursed. So,
and if anything, it's not that they didn't like that you had faith. It's the fact that they had lost theirs. So.
Yeah. I said, in fact, they're like, oh yeah, he's like, oh yeah, everything sucks. And I'm like, no it doesn't. And he's like, yes it does, shut up. I was like, okay, well, how do we fix this? But problems seem to be partially solved at least.
Hopefully next time there'll be at least this much sense of progress and getting things going through. And, situations.
Yeah, assuming the second floor is roughly the same size as the first floor, we should have a reasonable sense of progress. Because the only reason it took us as long as it did this time is because we spent so much time with the Vistani and everything.
Yeah. Well, and even then, like, the Vistani is, in theory, a source of information and can act as a little bit of a guide.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, it's like we basically cleared the first floor in one session, so I imagine the second floor should be at least as fast.
Yeah, because I was expecting a, not necessarily a session of floor, but a session, for lack of a better term, plot milestone.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. In other words, if it's like each session, you should have, at the very least, the knowledge to know, okay, here's what we need to do next. These paladins of the Silver Order do actually have stat blocks, so
I was like hoping I wouldn't have to deal with that.